We started with our animated and documentary films, but now let's complete our beginnings with the films nominated for Best Foreign Language Film, or should I say now, Best International Feature. As the Academy has decided to rename this category, which could be very divisive amongst people, as some of us would still say foreign, but now going by the Academy's new way, as we call these international films, films not in the English language, kind of like what the BAFTA does. For the next 4 Fridays and a Thursday, these 5 films around the world that I'll be talking about are a youth juvenile man pretends to be a priest in a small town, which the citizens are still traumatized of a tragic event. A documentary about a successful village beekeeper is ruined when a Turkish rancher decides to do what she does and made him and his family more powerful than her. An iconic story, but this time with 3 police officers and a minority of teenagers in the suburbs in a big investigation. A filmmaker struggles in a crisis from a pain in his back while he deals with heroin and a glory potential comeback for his lover. And a poor family finds a way to work a wealthy family without them knowing they're all related. And the films I'm talking about are Corpus Christi from Poland, Honeyland from North Macedonia, Les Misérables from France, Pain and Glory from Spain, and Parasite from South Korea. Now I know where this is going to be going, but we're not going to be talking about that latter one until the very end of these reviews. As you can tell by the title, we're going to start this up with the return of one of these countries that I've previously talked about in a previous year, Poland. If you remember last year, I reviewed their previous nominated film that was nominated in this category, as well as for cinematography and Best Director, without the film getting in for the Best Picture lineup, which was Paweł Pawlikowski's Cold War, which I consider it the most overrated Oscar movie of 2018, mainly of the 2 characters' love story repeating every single damn time. But now we got another movie here, but this time we get a film that has a different approach, and unlike some films that I had talked about in the past, this subject is involving religion, which is Corpus Christi. Directed by John Comassa, it focuses on a young prisoner named Daniel, who dreams of becoming a Catholic priest, but because of his criminal records at a young age, he couldn't. When he was officially got his parole, he was supposed to work at a sawmill, which is right near a small town that had a church, and says to the residents that he is a priest, and going by the name Father Tomas, who was the priest chaplain for the juvenile center when he was there. So he meets with the vicar and tells him to take over his priestly duties for a few weeks because of some health issues, which he accepted. However, he finds out that all the citizens of the small town are still in a tough tragedy after a bunch of young adults were killed in a car accident. So Daniel needs to do his religious act calling and searches for answers of the accident before he gets caught being a fake priest. Now I just want to clarify that this is not a religious movie here, even though there was one nominated film with Breakthrough for Best Original Song. However, the religion that is used for this film is Roman Catholicism here. But the main element is this massive investigation of this tragic car accident done by a young person, which the parents of the children they lost in the accident are furious, and when Daniel wants to get some answers, they can be really mean to him. But the one who gets the most mean is the sexton, who lost her child in the accident, but also has a daughter who doesn't usually participate in the church that she's in charge. And based on how the characters are directed, it's very well acted. Written-wise, they are really mean, especially when you get into the final clues of the investigation. As for our main character himself, he does enjoy pretending to be a priest for his passion, but does have some lack of him being a character to himself. As for the residents in the village, like I said, they can be really mean throughout the movie, mostly due to their language. Also, there's Marta, which definitely is so attractive from the actress who's playing her, but as a character, I felt like she was a generic love interest all the way through. For the script itself, it can be a bit confusing when you're combining the fake priest aspect with this investigation. It's not bad here, but it made me feel somewhat long here. And since this is a movie about a former prisoner, you have to put in the adult subjects, including alcohol, smoking, and sex, which may be a bit uncomfortable, but remember, he is not a priest. The first act shows it a lot after he got parole before he goes. Oh, and by the way, just to warn you that the 10-minute mark of the movie, there is this one scene with huge white dance flashes, so if you have epilepsy, you might want to skip when Daniel starts partying. Even if Corpus Christi might be a bit slow and some mean characters might make you hate this movie, but it is an alright movie. As much as it has some weak writing characters, but the great acting and directing makes you want to stay for the whole adventure. And yes, I do prefer this movie over Cold War, so if you did not like that movie, then you might like this movie here, or if you're interested in a dramatic investigation film outside of the US. And remember, this is not a religious movie. It's an R-rated dramatic film about a former prisoner. I know I'm repeating this, but that's what reviewers do. Poland, you choose the better film you submitted than I have seen from your country, as next Friday we will fly over the southwest of Europe in France.